With Conor McGregor, you told me on Wednesday he is like the Muhammad Ali of the UFC. What do you think of him now?
Well, to clarify, people will go crazy when you say that I said that. What I said was his mental warfare game is the best I've ever seen, even better than Ali. I have a question for you.
Sure.
Is he the first guy to ever do Sports Center without a shirt on?
We said when you win in 13 seconds, you're allowed.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a crazy night. Obviously, you heard me early in the week. I expected this thing to be like a Hagler-Hearns. I thought they were going to go toe-to-toe, and it did look like that's the way it was going to go. But Conor clipped him and finished it in 13 seconds. Amazing.
Amazing.
So, Dan, it hasn't just been a great fight night. This has been an incredible fight week. And to remind you, 24 hours ago, it was reported that you said Frankie Edgar will take on the winner of tonight's fight. Now, when a fight ends in 13 seconds and people are already calling it a fluke and saying, hey, it was anticlimactic, we need to see it again, Jose Aldo, like a full decade of never falling down, let alone going all the way to sleep. What do you think? Does it stand at Edgar, or is there a little talk of a rematch?
True. Well, the problem is, and I don't know if Conor said it when he was up here, but I don't think he wants to make 45 anymore. I think he's looking to move up to 155 pounds. And, obviously if that happened, you'd probably do Edgar versus Jose Aldo for the title. And if Conor decides to stick around and fight Edgar, then Jose would fight somebody else.
So wait a second. If he comes to you and says, I want to vacate my title for the first time UFC hit, you will allow him to vacate and move up?
Yeah. I think that was always his plan. He wanted to fight Jose Aldo and then move to 55 and fight for that title.
Wow.
So immediately he goes straight for the title. No one fight at 155, straight to the title.
No, whoever wins this fight, we actually have another fight on Saturday, next Saturday, between the Champ Dos Anjos and Cowboy Cerrone. And if he, we'll see who wins that fight, and we'll go from there. Made an offer to anybody. I just made a real offer. There's a real offer to Floyd.
25 for each fighter.
25 each.
Split the pay-per-view.
And then you split the pay-per-view at a certain number. Obviously, a lot of things to dig in and a lot of things to
if you talk to Conor today, what is his sensibility on this fight? Floyd's talking nonstop. What does Conor think about this potential fight?
I'm going to tell you why Conor McGregor is still doing over 1 million pay-per-view buys and Floyd isn't. Because Conor McGregor will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime, including Floyd Mayweather. He absolutely is that guy. Whether Conor fights Floyd or he doesn't, there's a line of guys that are ready to fight Conor that Conor will fight that are going to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Conor McGregor loves to fight, and he is one of those guys that will take on anybody, anywhere. Floyd keeps putting this thing on his social media of Conor getting choked by Diaz, but Conor fights. Conor is, I'm the guy that stands in the living room and tells you your opponent fell out or is on the phone, and I know how all these guys react when it happens. Nobody reacts the way Conor McGregor does.
If Dana White, president UFC, let's say they fight and Mayweather won, would it hurt the UFC brand?
No, listen, we like making fights that people are interested in. We like putting on entertainment, events, whatever. So no, I listen.
You're not paralyzed by
as long as the people who buy the pay-per-view or bought the tickets are excited with what happened that night, how do you lose? How do you lose in a scenario where you put on a great night of fights for people? That's the thing. That's why, in my opinion, do I think that Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor would be the best fight you've ever seen? Probably not, but it'll be pretty damn exciting. But I'm going to build an entire card underneath it. I'll have another title fight, and I'll stack the card like it was at Madison Square Garden. So you're guaranteed that night to at least get your money's worth, unlike the Pacquiao-Mayweather fight.
This may be a boring question for my audience, but I know that you run the UFC, and I know that you are the promoter for the UFC. I don't know who runs boxing. So when you negotiate this stuff, who do you negotiate with on that side?
Yeah, it would be interesting on Floyd's side. I guarantee it's not going to be Floyd. Floyd has a lot of input on what's going on, but Floyd isn't going in and doing the deals.
There's no Don King.
No, but he has a manager. He has a guy who
would say for his side, we got a deal?
I don't know.
I know who your side.
Well,
Conor's ready to fight.
Well, don't you think it's funny? Floyd's claiming that he made these offers. I don't even know who we would do. You know what I mean? There was no offer ever made to anybody, ever, until 2 minutes ago. Now a real offer has been made.
$25 million for both fighters, split pay-per-view. if now my guess is Floyd wouldn't like that, because Floyd's ego is, I'm the bigger fighter, even though you've laid out that he doesn't have the pay-per-view leverage that he used to have.
Right, and here's the thing. Manny Pacquiao ended up doing that fight at and you hear all these numbers thrown around, but it's something like Floyd got 250, Manny got 100. It's still a lot of money for both guys, but there's no big fight without Manny. Manny was as important in that fight as Floyd was.
Would Conor take less to get the fight? If push came to shove and you're in a room with Conor and you're saying, Conor, we can get this, but you got to take slightly less.
Conor can do whatever. There's a list of guys lined up to fight Conor McGregor that would love to fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's going to fight all day long, and he's going to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys, and he's going to do fine. And if for Floyd Mayweather to think that kid hasn't made $8 to $10 million, it just goes to show you what we're dealing with here.
Dana White, let me just, you said because one of the things that you've done very well, and even before I knew you, I had written in my first book about this, you have kind of owned Saturday night. Like NFL's like Sunday. That's really important.
Right.
Like you became a sport, not only became a sport, but you started owning a night. That's a big deal, like March Madness.
And when we started, we had to go on Friday because boxing owned that night.
That's right.
On Saturday night.
So this is a big part of your business is Saturday night's UFC night. So you build these cards. I'm just going to throw a name out to you. Is Ronda Rousey going to fight again? Because I didn't think I'm not sure if she looks like you got to be all in this sport. You got to be 100%. I don't know, Dana, if she's all in.
Right. Listen, she trained hard for that fight. She wanted that fight. She was mentally and physically ready for that fight, but she knows what happened. I don't. I'll tell you what, of all the people that were actually defending Ronda Rousey, one of the biggest ones was Miesha Tate. Miesha Tate said, let me tell you what, say what you want about Ronda Rousey, Amanda Nunes hits like a truck. She fought her first. She beat 2 back-to-back legends. So I don't know. Ronda and I haven't talked. We text. Yesterday was the first day that we started texting. And even if, it was just a regular fight, the fight that's going to happen this Sunday, I don't mess with the fighters for a while. I let them have some time off. And, Ronda and I will talk soon and see what she wants to do.
There was a point, Dana White joining us, he has made an offer, Dana has, to Floyd Mayweather, $25 million for both he and Conor McGregor, and they split the pay-per-view. What is your current relationship? And this is okay, because promoters historically and fighters, the great fighters are artists. Ali was an artist. Tyson, many of the fighters they're big personalities.
Right.
Fighting is the most humbling moment anybody could have.
Right.
You're in your underwear, 100 million people watching. Okay, so you're dealing with temperamental athletes. What is your current relationship with Conor?
Yeah, I've always, there's a lot of people who play off this relationship thing with me and Conor. I have a great relationship with Conor. Could I possibly speak more respectful about him? And it's not like, Conor needs any more encouragement on how great he is.
Right.
And everything else. But it is what it is. I call it like it is. Conor McGregor is special. He's a special, not only, does he, can he talk the talk? He goes out and he backs it up. He's fat. Watch the weigh-ins are amazing, and he always delivers on fight night. And he is truly a guy who will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime.
Do you believe he respects Floyd Mayweather, who is more of a scoring boxer than a knockout guy, more avoiding punches than landing them? Do you think he respects Floyd?
I'm sure he does, And if you look at Floyd and Conor, there's a lot of similarities there in their personalities and the way that they act. They both like money. They both like really nice things, and they both like to show you all their nice things. They're similar in a lot of ways. And even though I say whatever to Floyd, and Floyd and I get into it a lot, but what Floyd has accomplished to go undefeated for 20 years
is amazing.
Listen, even if, say what you want about him, a lot of people will criticize this and that. To go undefeated that long is very, very tough to do. Not every night is your night, but every night Floyd Mayweather has gone out, it's been his night.
Okay, so
he's never lost a fight in his nearly 20-year pro career. None other gracing the set right now is Floyd Mayweather. Thank you for joining us here on Sports Center Coast to Coast. So we know that you were here to promote the super middleweight unification fight at Barclays. Why are you promoting fights? I know you don't need to, so why this? Why now?
It's all about giving back. I created Mayweather Promotions a boxing promotion company to give back to fighters. So many fighters throughout the years have been taken advantage of. I was a fighter that started early, and once I was able to become my own boss, I wanted to put fighters in a great position to help fighters grow and hopefully someday surpass me.
As good as you may become as a promoter, you're right up there with one of the all-time great boxers. So the question is, I'm putting to you, Floyd, I know you're retired.
Yes.
What's the likelihood you stay retired for the rest of your life?
It's like probably 90, 95, 5%.
That high?
Yes, 95, 5% chance.
There's nothing that can bring you back.
No, they of course they offer me a lot of money, but I happen to be one of those athletes that had a smart business team, made some very, very smart, lucrative moves that I put myself in a position that I don't ever have to work again.
Passing Rocky Marciano, as far as where you weight that, you're tied with him now.
Well, I didn't
50-0 has a nice ring to it.
Well, I didn't get into this sport to outdo any fighter. I got into the sport to do what I had to do, accomplish what I had to accomplish, make a lot of money, and then do something smart with my money on the outside. And now my whole thing is about just helping my children and helping my promotion company grow.
It's interesting because you talk about, this fight and what you've accomplished and all the money you've made. Arguably, the biggest fight in recent times is you and Manny. Yes. Everyone was waiting for it. It took a while to get done.
Yes.
It finally gets done in 2015. We were there. We covered it.
Thank you.
But leading up to the fight, though, Floyd, and let's talk about this for a moment, probably the first time in your career, your professional career, there was a lot of talk about the documented history of domestic violence. You never really addressed it. Do you have anything to say about it now?
Well, that was in my past. And of course, with any situation, when someone talks about domestic violence, I think with a fighter that like myself, when they say that Floyd was involved in domestic violence, restraining someone, yes, I did that. I'm guilty of restraining. As far as stomp, kick, and beating a woman, I think that the world would see photos. But you must realize this. For so many years, they try to defeat me in so many different ways, as far as negative things. But I couldn't be defeated inside the ring, so they try to defeat me on the outside, as far as trying to discourage me. Do I think they wanted Rocky? Do I think that they want Rocky for me to break Rocky Marciano record? Absolutely not. Do I think did people want to see me fail? Absolutely. But I beat all odds. I was meant to be where I'm at today. I was meant to go through the different obstacles that I went through, and I wouldn't change my life for nothing.
Okay, so in 2011, you spent 60 days in jail for